Tuesday saw the first question time of the parliamentary year, and while government backbenchers asked a variety of questions on a variety of issues to a variety of ministers, each and every opposition question was asked by Bill Shorten, and every one of them was directed to the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott. And every question was either about Toyota's decision to stop making cars in Australia or the government's decision not to help bail out SPC Ardmona. Here's a sample.
I refer to the Prime Minister's pre-election comments on Melbourne radio, where he said, "I think any government which makes it harder to manufacture cars is making it harder for us to continue to be a first world economy, because without cars we're not really a sophisticated economy anymore." Given Toyota's announcement yesterday, does the Prime Minister agree that by his own test it means Australia will no longer be a sophisticated economy?
Every single one of us is devastated by this announcement, just as we were devastated by the announcement in December that Holden would cease manufacturing, just as we were devastated by the announcement early last year under a different government that Ford would cease manufacturing.
I refer to the Prime Minister's December statement. "It is the government's strong wish that Toyota continue to manufacture in this country, and we will be talking to them about the best ways of ensuring that happens." After making this statement, did the Prime Minister personally speak to Toyota as he promised he would, and what did he do to stop Toyota from closing its doors yesterday?
I met with the Chief of Toyota Australia in December last year, and I assured him that assistance would be available to Toyota on the same basis as it had been available in times past. I gave him that assurance.
I refer the Prime Minister to comments by his Employment Minister about Toyota today, where he said, "I didn't know it was coming. From discussing these matters with my colleagues, I don't think anybody else was expecting it." Will the Prime Minister confirm his government had no idea and did nothing to secure the future of automotive manufacturing in this country?
I understand that the opposition wishes to sheet this home entirely to the government, even though this plainly is something that has been taking place over quite some years now. We all deeply regret the devastating announcement that Toyota made yesterday. We all deeply lament this, but our challenge as a government, our challenge as a parliament, is not to preserve every single business indefinitely. Our challenge is to create the conditions under which people, if necessary, can transition from good jobs to even better jobs.
Despite no mention in Toyota's statement, the Minister for Employment this morning said that the high cost of manufacturing, with great respect, must of itself include the cost of labour. Does the Prime Minister believe that Toyota workers are paid too much, and is that why Toyota is closing its doors?
I don't begrudge any Australian worker his or her wage. I want the Australian worker to be better paid all the time.
Member for Kingston will desist.
All the time. I want the Australian workers' pay to go up and up and up. But, Madam Speaker, I do make this very important point. If the workers of Australia are to be the best paid workers in the world, we have to be the most productive workers in the world as well.
I refer to media reports today that the Prime Minister told the Coalition Room earlier today that the workers and the workplace conditions at Toyota were responsible for Toyota's decision to leave Australia. Will the Prime Minister tell Toyota workers what he told his party room today? That he believes that they're the highest paid in the world and not productive enough? And is that why Toyota is closing its doors?
I think that the Leader of the Opposition would be best to rephrase that question, because in its current form I do not believe it is in order as it relates to proceedings in the government's party room.
I refer to reports of the Prime Minister telling a meeting I cannot specify that the workers and workplace conditions at Toyota were responsible for Toyota's decision to leave Australia.
Well, Madam Speaker, I'm happy to assure the Leader of the Opposition that I made no such statement. I made no such statement in the party room or anywhere else.
I refer to the announcement by Toyota yesterday that it would cease making cars in Australia. Why hasn't the Prime Minister outlined the support that his government will provide 2,500 direct employees at Toyota and the hundreds of thousands of workers in the automotive manufacturing industry whose jobs have been lost on the watch of the Abbott government?
The jobs aren't going tomorrow. They're not going next week or next month or even next year. These jobs will finish in 2017. Now, I deeply, deeply regret that, but the important thing is to create the conditions in our economy, where those workers can move from good jobs to better jobs, and that's exactly what this government will do.
The last time the Prime Minister claimed job losses at SPC Ardmona were the fault of workers' conditions, the member for Murray said, and I quote, "It's not the truth. That's right, it's lying." Does the Prime Minister take any responsibility for smearing those employees, or is it the workers' fault again?
I welcome the efforts that the new management at SPC Ardmona have made to restructure their business, and I congratulate the member for Murray for her support for the workers and management at SPC Ardmona. I do. One thing this government is not going to do is simply hand over $25 million in borrowed money to a highly profitable company that made $215 million in after-tax profit last year.
Can the Prime Minister explain the difference between his government's treatment of SPC on one hand and Cadbury on the other?
One, if I may say so, was a request for business welfare. The other, if I may say so, was a local tourism infrastructure grant.